Have you seen any of the hilarious JoJo memes circulating on the internet? If so, you're probably familiar with the cult action series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. With the addition of Jojo Stone Ocean, the series presents viewers with yet another mind-blowing story to continue the legacy of its predecessors, Phantom Blood, Stardust Crusaders, Diamond is Unbreakable, and Golden Wind. Packed with action, adventure, gore, and mysteries, Stone Ocean brings the world of stand users to life in an immersive and entertaining journey. As we are revealing the 6th part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we hope those not familiar with the JoJo series get to experience the same joys that millions of fans have enjoyed and why this series has been around for over a decade. Now, what is there to know about this anime? Expect a ton of spoilers, folks. But first, a quick insight into the genre to fully understand the concept of Stone Ocean. The two critical elements JoJo brings into the spotlight are action and mystery. The action sequence is similar to some big anime series like Naruto and One Piece, but in the case of JoJo, it's quite different, as fights usually involve figuring out the stand user's ability and how to counter it. Although the cycle repeats, each iteration comprises new villains, their abilities, and how to defeat them, all of which are intertwined in the web of mysteries that the Joestar family and allies must solve. With the first female protagonist blending seamlessly into the JoJo series, what Stone Ocean does is take us on a journey of the next generation of the Joestar family. The story follows JOLYNE CUJOH, daughter of Jotaro CUJOH, who was wrongfully convicted of murder and sentenced to 15 years in a maximum security prison. Just like her ancestors of the Joestar family, JOLYNE will have to continue their long generational battle against Dio and his followers. But this time, there's no grand goal of ending evil, only a girl who wants to save her family. Off to an entertaining start, the anime opens up with JoJo in her prison cell, banging her head on her bunk. Why? She was ashamed after being seen by a warden doing the unthinkable. We got to look after ourselves in prison somehow, right? As she continued her chaotic display, the other inmates made fun of her predicament. It's here that we're introduced to a character known as ERMES COSTELLO. Shortly afterwards, both girls are transferred to Green Dolphin Street Prison, where they become friends. Here's where the action kicks in. JoJo's powers begin to manifest, and she unintentionally uses them to save ERMES, who's about to be attacked by a corrupt guard. With newfound powers and a visit from her father, JOLYNE quickly discovers the existence of stand users within the prison, most of whom are trying to end her family's bloodline. From here onward, the story advances to a thrilling pursuit of saving her father's life and ultimately a desperate plan to escape. With so many stakes, you won't know when you'll find yourself immersed in the fantasy, emotional, and gruesome elements altogether. So what about Stone Ocean makes it such a worthwhile watch? Most of the adoration for this series comes from its protagonist, JOLYNE CUJOH. It's not often you get to see a female lead in a shonen action anime, adding to the fact that she's also the first female JoJo in the franchise. We're talking a lot of pressure. She, however, doesn't disappoint and holds the JoJo lineage perfectly, and in a badass way too. Her style? On fire! Looks very colorful and unique, as expected of a series full of vivid character designs. While transferring to the maximum security prison, she receives a pendant from her father, who she always detested as he was never around nor cared what became of his daughter. The pendant, however, pricks JOLYNE, giving her strange abilities. She later finds out her newfound power is called a stand and names hers Stone Free or Stone Ocean as a reminder that her powers could free her from the stone confines of this isolated island prison. So how did JOLYNE get into this challenging ordeal in the first place? She was sentenced to prison for a hit-and-run charge, which led to the victim dying. Although she wasn't in the driver's seat, she covered for her lover, Romeo. Anything for love, right? However, while it looked like she got screwed over by her lawyer, it soon started looking like it was Romeo's doing. However, it was a much deeper plot than she could have imagined. Her entire ordeal was carefully orchestrated by a careful mastermind lurking in prison, and his identity, abilities, and connections make up the biggest mysteries plaguing JOLYNE and her objectives. After some time in prison, her father visits, but she's warned against the visit by a small boy who plays a massive role in the series. This supposed neglectful dad was the current head of the Joestar family and the unfortunate victim of our story, whose demise will properly set things in motion. On meeting JOLYNE, he tells her that all the events leading to her arrest, beginning from the car accident to her trial, were a plot by a follower of Dio BRANDO. For those who need a quick recap, Dio was the antagonist of the series until Jotaro killed him. But Dio always manages to find a way to cheat both in life and death. During the visit, both realized that JOLYNE's imprisonment was a trap for her father to lure him out to protect his daughter. With JOLYNE's life in danger, Jotaro's father instincts kick in, and he's forced to use his stand, Star Platinum, which freezes time to protect his daughter and leave himself vulnerable to the enemy. As a result, Jotaro and his stand abilities were taken away in the form of discs, and with them gone, Jotaro's life was hanging by a thread. This catalyst event set the entire Stone Ocean adventure into motion as JoJo became determined to save her father and uncover the mystery behind this powerful enemy. But it won't be an easy journey escaping a top security prison and having to face dangerous stand users. With the help of her newfound powers, an array of allies, and some courage, JOLYNE embarks on the Stone Ocean saga. If there's one thing JoJo has in common with other great anime series, it is power diversity. From JOLYNE's ability to unravel parts of her body into a string, to ERMES' power to duplicate objects, and Jotaro's time-stopping capabilities, there's no shortage of what kind of battles takes place in this series. It's not just superpowers though. The characters bring unique personalities and motivations to their fights. Each fight is exciting, new, and full of surprises, making it a must-see for even the most experienced anime fan. For example, Foo Fighters, or FF, an ally of JOLYNE, is ridiculously good at fighting and improvising. Their plankton abilities allow them to reconstruct themselves as it likes, which becomes very handy for stealth operations and combat. Just like FF, everyone holds a unique stand ability that gives them a significant advantage depending on how it's used. To name a few, there's Weather Report, which can control the weather, Diver Down's ability to store power inside a human or object, which can be released at will, and Bohemian Rhapsody, which can change the world entirely. And without spoiling the show, JOLYNE and her crew faced many battles against the most powerful foes. These fight scenes, however, aren't like your typical matches. Our fighters have to use their wits to figure out who the enemy is, their abilities, and how to defeat them in a highly disadvantaged situation that will determine who lives or dies. It's exciting, fast-paced, and also clever in how they explain what exactly is happening in these tough fights. For example, the psychological battle against Mew Mew. The chief guard of the prison is one heck of a ride. Her stand, Jailhouse Lock, has a dreadful ability that ensures her targets can only remember precisely 3 pieces of information. When the target takes in a 4th piece of information, their memory gets altered, losing the oldest memory. For anyone familiar with the hit movie Memento, where the protagonist is unable to store new memories, it's a lot like that. Stuck in Mew Mew's memory loop, JOLYNE goes as far as stitching her thoughts on her skin to help her keep track of the current situation. From there, it's a huge game of wits and intense moments of outsmarting one another. It's this attention to detail on how you would think during battle and the unique abilities of each villain that contribute to the immersive experience of the story. While it follows a similar trajectory as the other JOJO's, the difference lies in the details and how the characters in tandem utilize their stands to survive. By now, you can see that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an action-packed anime series known for its stylized art style, supernatural stand powers, and ability to continuously reinvent itself with new characters, multi-level fight scenes, and a compelling storyline. But for a fact, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean is an immersive succession to the series with a perfect blend of action, adventure, superpowers, and suspense. What makes the anime stand out in particular is its execution. The introduction of the first female protagonist of the series, the detailed and clever fights, and the character roles have all been portrayed flawlessly. As a viewer, there's no guessing what would happen next. So if you're looking for an anime for a change of pace, we recommend Stone Ocean. Compared to other anime, this season does not depend on prior parts for a deep understanding of what's happening. You could comfortably begin your JoJo journey with Stone Ocean, arguably one of the best in the franchise. Now, for other noteworthy anime series, check out this video here.